Welcome back, everybody, to the Move Better channel. I am your host, Dr. Joe, and this is the Professor John Pettis-Serrata. We got a little bit of a change up on you guys today. We're gonna do something different.
Something different. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna review some trending exercises. There's always exercise videos out there in Instagram, TikTok, and we were asked to review some of them and see if it actually works and break it down for y'all. So check these out.
This specific exercise that I'm seeing right here, damn, if you can get this down, I'm all for it, man. You know, when he's simply, let me get this out. When he's simply rotating and pushing his arm forward, we're getting that transverse plane and that rotational. Once I get to that plane right here, I'm throwing my hand out. Now I'm gonna get it more into the sagittal plane. And as I'm rotating and I'm leaning onto this back leg, now I'm getting into the frontal plane, which is the lateral side. And so now it's, you know, I don't want to be too complex where it's going to get you guys confused, but with all of those rotational patterns and the movements that he's swinging, he's hitting every single plane that we need and getting all the muscles to work together as a unit to work a pattern. That pattern movements are, I mean, complex movements, compound movements, those are all important pieces in order to ensure that our body is actually moving the way it should be moving. So is it a great exercise? Absolutely. Yeah. The rotational aspect right here. So as he's rotating back and forth, now we're getting the core, we're getting the obliques, we're getting the abdominal muscles, we're getting the muscles that stabilize the spine. And even though I'm rotating this, yes, it's rotating the spine, which is the way the spine is meant to move, right? It's allowing the core to activate and stabilize. Anytime I move my arms and I swing my arms, you're going to start to feel those muscles, those plantar muscles of the spine start to stabilize as he swings his arms and rotates them. So hell yeah, this is going to be a great exercise. I mean, a lot of core work that's involved with this. That's probably the reason why they're saying, you know, you won't have any back pain or shoulder pain. Yeah. Now, with neck pain, one of the things that I've said in a past video is how shoulders can really affect the neck. And if we're allowing freedom of our shoulders to move and our rotator cuffs to learn how to fire the way they're supposed to, it leaves the neck alone. The neck doesn't have to stabilize for the shoulders, or the neck doesn't have to excessively move for the shoulders, excuse me. And so that can actually relieve your neck pain. Yeah. So will you have it? I can't say you won't, but at the same time, can it help? Maybe. It's a damn good exercise, that's for sure. I think I tried it. I'm going to try it, but
I tried it. One of the reasons why I brought this up is because I tried it, and in a matter of repetitions, my back tightness went away. Yeah. And it was great. I mean, you could, you know, just take a look at it, and some may say, well, that movement looks crazy. It's a little bit wild as far as what he's doing. Well, it probably took him time to get this movement down, but if you look at everything that he's doing, he's pretty much moving the whole body. And you're getting spinal rotation, neck rotation, shoulder, hip, I mean, everything. And it's coordinated enough that his motor control is actually really conditioned to do it, right?
I guarantee you, 90% of the people are not going to be able to do this move that fast, that quick. And if you start moving this way, yeah. Shit, honestly, get moving.
You know,
this is gonna be awesome.
You'll find out this. Your shoulder is probably not flexible enough still. Mm-hmm. Your hip and lower back is really tight. But again, because you can take this movement and practice it, it really gets your mind into it as well. The more you do this, the more you will probably feel the benefit. And
you're not gonna be flaring your arms like that and moving that fast. No. You're gonna be, I mean, even if you don't have the mobility to do it and you just try moving this way, right. It's going to take some time for you to learn the movement. Yeah. It's going to take some time for you to speed up your movement. And in that time, it takes to do all of that, it might actually help increase your mobility and your control over your body, right. Which is that whole mind-body connection, yeah. Right?
Mind-body connection, it's total body movement. I mean, think about the advantage of actually being able to do this.
Yeah, you're talking about awesome. Complex movements, yeah. Compound movements.
Yeah,
those are all added together. So this is good.
It's showing also like the design of our body, right? Mm-hmm. And he's covering movements that I think in modern society has reduced in functionality, right? Absolutely. So just the rotation, How many times do we rotate throughout the day? We do, but I'm sure so many people are so like linear in this way that they don't do any more spinal rotation. And right here, he's covering it.
Yeah, a lot of people just figure that specific movements are the only things that they should be doing.
Yeah. And you know, we're guilty of it because when we work out this way. Yeah. We'll segment all our body parts, but how often will we like put everything together and try to move fluidly?
He's nailing all parts. So he's getting everything. He's getting the extension. He's leaning forward. He's rotating. He's swinging. I mean, these are just good actions for our body. We do a lot of these stretches at the office as well, and some people might second guess, like, hey, well, you know, or question how is this going to help our lower back? Sure. A lot of muscles attached to that lower back area, and that SI joint, the thoracolumbar fascia, which is, you know, what he points to at the bottom. And it says if he has a tight lower back, he uses his arm and he reaches on over. Could that actually help? Absolutely. This, I know we're like agreeing with everything here, but it's the stretch that he's actually doing at this point is more for how do our shoulders affect our lower back, and how does our posture really affect our lower back? Well, you know, posture is more of like a window of telling us, you know, how is our body allowed to move with the environment that we're given. And what he's doing here, if people are dealing with back pain from a seated position all day long or lack of movement all day long, could this stretch help? Yes, it could help work on releasing tightness in the lower back because you're increasing the flexibility. With the knees over toes guy, he's teaching people that he's been taught wrong. And I think he comes from an area where he had knee pain and he couldn't jump and he wanted to play sports and people were telling him not to move. And here he is challenging challenging his doctors that told him he shouldn't be moving. And what he's showing the world is how much strength he can gain just by doing knees over toes. Yes. Yes. Now, I think the original thought process for driving your knees over your toes is that it's going to mess up your knees. Yeah. The knees, if they go behind the toes, they're actually putting more pressure into the patellar tendons and the rectus femoris and the kneecap itself, and we're putting a lot more strain along our ligamentous structures if we try to stay at a 90-degree angle because there's going to be more weight that's going to be pushed into that. Right. So what he's telling us is, you know, our body is kind of works in curves, right?
If you look at it from a outside perspective, all the curves, actually, if you look like it can like be a spring, right? Yeah. And so all the tension is now distributed across the system, and it's not just in one area. Mm-hmm. But if you, from your point, if you move a certain way where now it's only shifting to one area and you're making sure that the knee doesn't go the other way.
And we're looking at it in that
now all angle. The stress is going into like only one section. It's not evenly distributed.
Yeah, exactly. So going back to the knees, is it going to be able to fix your knees and what you do? You have to work up to that, right? And he even talks about working your way into, you know, going your knees over your toes, right? There's a process with everything that we do. There's a step-by-step process in order to get to that. And so this knees over toes guy, yes, he has something there for sure. Mm-hmm. I haven't really seen all of his content recently, but there's definitely some good work in that sense.
Some of his stuff, because I like his approach of let's train the body to do movements that it's not used to doing anymore. Yeah. So I like that approach. Yeah. You know, the backward walking. Yeah. I do like that. I've done that before.
And this is all good stuff as long as you're not in pain, right? I mean, if you're in pain, it's going to be a different story. You have to go and see somebody. You got to come and see us. Yeah. We're going to teach you guys all about what you need to do in order to get out of pain, so that way you can retrain these knees over toes, right? So it starts with getting an assessment, getting an exam, and trying to figure out how we can get you back to normal and being able to do these knees over toes.
To add to the point earlier ago, you know, they say Asian squat, right? Mm-hmm. And you go to these countries and have elders still squatting properly.
And the more we have curves, the less a joint has to work.
And I always now refer to, like, look at, you know, toddlers. If the toddler doesn't have a chair, the toddler will just squat down naturally. If you look how they squat down naturally, it's their knees.
They're comfortable in that position.
Comfortable, and it will pass the toes at certain points, and it's fine.
And some people may have an argument on that and be like, "Oh, their joints are not fused." It doesn't matter. As we grow older, we could still sit in that position. We just lose that because we're sitting in these damn chairs. You know, the squat position. You know, I've heard it called, you know, the Asian squat nowadays, right? These, you know. They got it right. Let me let you know right now.
If you look at, like, the elders in these countries, they still squat down that deep, and they're fine.
And they're fine. They ain't no knee problems with that.
Right. So now, in our day, in our modern living, yes, we've created a dysfunction because we don't squat that deep.
Yeah.
And now we're finding all these issues: lower back, knees, everything. It's connected.
And so what's the fear on that?
The fear on it is, look, if you're feeling that pain, don't do it, right?
Yeah,
or if you try to do what they're doing, you're gonna hurt yourself. Right? And you hear that all the time. But because you have created that dysfunction, you could either continue to have that dysfunction and get worse, because it's gonna get worse, or you could start retraining your body to perform what it was designed to do. All right, guys, so hopefully you guys enjoyed us reviewing these exercises and topics today. If there's any other topics or exercises that you guys want us to review.
Any trends that you guys see on TikTok or Instagram.
They're always fun to do.
Be sure to send it over to us.
Let us know,
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment.
We're here for you guys.
Let's go.
Move better, you guys. Thank you.